Hi, everyone. It's Thursday. I'm wearing a hat. My name's Rochelle, so it's time for Hat Chat. We're so glad you joined us today. You are going to want to stay tuned because we're doing a series called Stress-Free Parent Conferences. And you're probably in the middle of getting ready for parent conferences. So this month, we're all about giving you ideas to help it make it stress-free. But please share this broadcast now. We're going to probably have a lot of teachers who want this information from our one and only Abigail Peterson from Kindergarten Chaos. You're going to want to stay tuned for her. I'm getting real tongue-tied today because I'm so excited about this topic. So please share this broadcast. So let's bring Abigail in. Hi there.
Hello. Hi, Rochelle.
We're so glad you're here. You're wearing such a nice hat. Can you tell us about it?
Well, it's only about 100 degrees in Las Vegas. Not really. But I grabbed one because I love bling, and you can't really tell, but it's a little bling. So I actually wore this when I went to the snow. So I thought I'd get an extra use out of it for our little hat chat today.
I love it. It looks beautiful, and hopefully it'll start getting cooler now that it's going to be fall time.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. But you know how Hat Chat works. To get into the Hat Chat, you have to tell us a joke. So what do you have today?
All right. To go along with my warm hat for a cold place, what kind of lettuce did they serve on the Titanic?
What kind of lettuce did they serve on the Titanic?
Iceberg.
I love it. Good job. I got that one. I knew what you were going to say. I'm not very quick on the jokes. You'd think I'd be getting better as time goes along, but I'm just not. So thank you for sharing that. Now, Abigail Peterson, not everybody knows who you are or what you're passionate about. So could you please let us know a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, just like the title says, Kindergarten Chaos, I started teaching actually second grade here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I loved second grade. They came to me reading and writing, and I didn't have to take national standardized testing. So I thought I found the perfect grade level. And then I took a little break to have my two younger kids. And when I came back, I wanted to come back more in a half-time capacity. And I went to the principal who I stayed at the same school. And so I had asked him, I said, can I share a contract with somebody? Can I? And he said, nope, the only thing we have available is kindergarten. And I was petrified. And I thought long and hard about it. And I thought, that was the one grade that I really didn't want to teach because I was petrified that I would ruin them. The whole reading and writing and teaching them and giving them that foundation was a little scary to me. But I accepted the position, and it was half-day kindergarten at the time, which was a great stepping stone for me in my learning about kindergarten. I took the job, and the first day, I was one of those that absolutely fell in love with it. And it has been my passion ever since. I taught a couple years of half-day, and then I went full day. Our whole district went full day, and it really has become my passion. I love kindergarten. I love being most of the students that come to me love being their first experience of school and giving them that love for learning and that love for just being in school and everything that comes with it. And so that has really become my passion. And then helping other teachers comes in second place. I have a blog, Kindergarten Chaos, which is all about teaching kindergarten and sharing ideas and giving not only educators, but even parents tools that can assist them in helping beginning learners and primary students. That's a little about myself. Maybe I should add this too. I'm married. I'm almost married 20 years. Next month will be 20 years. I know it's hard to believe that they let 5-year-olds get married. Just joking. But no. And I have 3 kids. My oldest is a senior in high school this year. And then I have one 11-year-old daughter, and she's in 6th grade. And then I have a 4th grader. So my hands are full. Very busy.
So you have
the chaos part.
The chaos part, that's right. So you've had many experiences yourself as a teacher with parent-teacher conferences and as a parent at parent-teacher conferences. So it could be stressful on both ends. So I know you've developed a lot of tools for teachers and for parents. So why don't you tell us about one of the ones that you have right now that teachers would want to know about?
Okay, so this is something that came to me as a teacher this in the last couple years because, again, like you said, Rochelle, I've been on the receiving end of being the parent and then also as the teacher. So both sides of the table, I've sat on both sides, and still to this day, I sit on both sides. And so one thing that I noticed as a teacher is a lot of times, you know, a lot of us use ESGI, and if you don't, please do. Please research it and go and get a subscription, and because it's amazing. And so I have all this data that I printed out for a student and from ESGI, and I give it to parents and I say, you know, here are the letters that they know, here are the letters that they don't know, here are the sounds that they know, here are the sounds they don't know. Go down through the whole list. Here are the flashcards, and I hand them this packet and I say, you know, this is what I need you to work on at home with them. And parents, a lot of times, parents are willing to help and they want to help, but they don't know how to help. They're not educators. You know, I am an educator, so I know what to do with my kids when a teacher hands me information and says, oh, they need help in this area. I generally can figure it out, but not all parents have that ability. And so I thought, you know what, I need to make this a little bit more meaningful to parents and not just hand them a stack of flashcards and say, you know, can you help them? So I came up with something really simple, and I just call it a learning toolbox. And so it's free because we're teachers and we like free things. Free is in our budget, right? And so all it takes is I just used a gallon Ziploc bag, and I made a little letter. And you can it's free, it's a free download, it's printable, you just print it off. And I just gave them a synopsis of what ESGI is as an assessment. And then it has, we have the ability as teachers to print out the flashcards. But then I said, here's 4 ideas that you can do with your kids at home with these flashcards. Instead of doing the typical drill and kill of just flashcards like we did as when we were growing up with multiplication. That's what I remember is multiplication facts, just flashcard after flashcard. You know, well, we live in a digital society and social media, and everything moves so fast that kids are not always engaged by flashcards, just the monotonous, just, you know, drill and kill. So what can we do? So there's 4 different games on here that parents can do with number flashcards, sight words, letters, rhyming cards, whatever it is, whatever skill. These will work for any skill. They're just simple little games. And then also, I included 2 game boards. And they're just, again, it's free, just 2 game boards. And what all the parents, I even say on here that you can use a bean or a penny as a playing piece. And then this is just an engaging way to practice those skills with those flashcards, but in a meaningful, fun way that parents can understand and can help their kids. An older sibling could do this. And so it's just something that, I also include this, which is a learning toolbox like label. And so I printed mine on, not this one's not printed on it, but I printed mine on full sheet Avery labels and then just cut it out and then just stuck it to the front of the Ziploc bag. And then I put the letter, the game board, and then all of their flashcards and the parents' letters with all the information inside this baggie. And this is their learning toolbox. And I give it to the parents at parent-teacher conference, and I can tell you that they're very grateful. They're very grateful that they have 4 different games or solutions to help them when they go home, and they don't feel overwhelmed. They don't feel overwhelmed. So I think as teachers, that's one of the least things we can do is to kind of facilitate that learning as they go home.
Yeah,
so that's one
great.
of the tools that I came up with.
Show us like really close to the camera, like hold up the label, because we didn't get a good chance to see it, but you guys are super cute. Look at that. Isn't that cute? They put the name and the learning toolbox. Okay, then show us the game board again.
So there's 2 different game boards I did. And the only reason why I included 2 different game boards is just for novelty, because we know that novelty is one of the keys. And especially with all children, but especially with young primary children, you give them this colored game board and you have just made their night of learning more fun. So there's just 2 game boards. And like I said, there's no pieces. I didn't provide pieces because I think a bean or a penny, anything you have around your house, if you wanted to, not too many people play board games anymore, but if you have board game pieces, you could use it. And so it's pretty simple. And then, like I said, the different games that the 4 options that I included on here, I'll just give you a little example, is like pull, read, and play. So each player would get 4 cards. The rest would go in the playing deck. Player 1 gets to pull a card from player 2's hand. If player 1 can identify the letter, name, or number, say the letter, sound, or read the sight word, then they get to keep the card and move a space on the game board. Both players should keep 4 cards in their hand by drawing from the deck. Very simple. Simple. Like I said, a parent can do it, an older sibling can do it. I mean, if you had, after school with, maybe you're the carpool family and you have a couple kids at home doing homework, you could do it as a group. So it's just simple things like that doesn't cost extra money, doesn't require them to go and do extra things. It can be done right there at the kitchen counter or at the dining table, and it's easy.
That's so good. And we find it at your TPT store, right?
No, you go to my blog, kindergartenchaos.com.
Got it.
The most recent blog post looks just like this. It says the learning toolbox and using ESGI data and flashcards. And it's a free download. You just go there, click on the link, and it'll open right up. And it's a printable PDF, so you can just download what you need from it.
Awesome. And we already have it in the comments below. Click the link. It'll take you right there, her last blog post. And then in the blog, you talk about how you use ESGI and how things are working in your classroom. I saw a lot of great ideas for teachers there.
Yes. And again, if you are, most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with ESGI, but I recruit so many people and teachers when I'm out and about and in my district. I present for our district locally. And because it's such a great tool. Used to be, and I shared this in the blog post. So if you read this in the blog post, you'll say, I already heard this because Abby already shared it on the Hat Chat. But years ago, when I first started teaching half-day kinder, we had to do all these assessments, paper and pencil, one-on-one. I taught half-day kindergarten. Now, listen to this. The kids showed up at 9:10 and left at 11:40. And I had all this content to teach, plus they wanted all these assessments. And these assessments have to be done one-on-one. And the amount of paperwork was a fire hazard. It was a disaster. And I'm pretty organized, but I would lose. I would, set a pile down and then I wouldn't remember where I put it, and a parent would come or another teacher would come and ask me for, the data, and I would be scrambling trying to find it. And so when I first did my trial for ESGI a couple years ago, I loved that when I had the special education teacher come and ask me, I was able to just immediately go to my computer, open this child up on ESGI in my class and print their data and be able to hand it to the teacher. It was as easy as that. I didn't have to go search through a pile. I don't have a huge pile of data. I don't have folders. I love it. It's amazing. It makes parent-teacher conferences so easy. Tomorrow, this is our 9th week of kindergarten here in Las Vegas. And so tomorrow, progress reports are going home. And the progress reports that all 4 of the kindergarten in our school are sending out are all ESGI. It's all the reports from ESGI. And I don't think I have it on here. And Rochelle, I'm pulling a fast one on you, but it's it is the, let me think for a second. It's the student report for each student. And I love to print that because it has the graphs on there and the pie charts. And so you can kind of see, however many times you have assessed them, you get to see the progress. And that is very powerful for parents because sometimes even the smallest bit of growth, it's still growth. And when a parent can see that, it's, sometimes if you're having to tell a parent, they're not as growing as much as I would like them to, and that's discouraging to parents. But when they can see that the graph is moving up, then it softens it a little bit.
Yeah. So are you talking about the history graph? Or are you talking about the new
Go to, right here on the
detail?
student detail. I'm sorry, student detail. Yes. So when you pull up student detail, you can print this for and if you scroll down a little bit, it has these graphs for everything, and it's amazing, and it's the perfect tool to assist when sharing with parents at a parent-teacher conference, because they can see everything.
We call this the rock star report, because you're going to look like a rock star when you give this to parents at parent conferences. So thank you for bringing it up. This is so awesome because, yes, it shows the class totals report, shows the pie chart, it shows the history graph and the parent letter all in one.
And so I find it very powerful. I just used it with a one-on-one meeting yesterday with a parent with a student I have concerns with. I was able to print it out and I was able to show her. And, there's just a lot of power in parents seeing that, instead of sometimes them always hearing, but when they actually have that visual to assist and see, somehow it motivates them. And so I am very grateful that you guys were able to add this feature a while back. And it's, like you said, it's a rock star report. So.
That's right. It's any time you can start an ESGI trial. It doesn't mean that you have to wait for a certain time of year or anything like that. You can always start, and you can use promo code CHAOS for free trial. So make sure that you sign up at any time of year that you want to start. It doesn't even matter. If you want to start January, go ahead, start your ESGI. It's only going to help you moving forward, because we say it saves over 400 hours a year. And as you hear Abigail talking about, It does save that much time. Not only does it save time, but it really increases your parent communication with all these tools. You're not just saying, well, I think your kid's on grade level. Like, you can prove it.
Absolutely. And you know what? Going back to when I first started teaching kindergarten, do you know that I actually took 3x5 cards and wrote them down, because I wanted to be able to actually give something to a parent? Like I said, it's always in the back of my mind that I want to, be able to provide parents with the tools that they need to help their child succeed. Because yes, I'm a big believer in independence, but also in the very foundational grades like kindergarten and first grade, sometimes they really do need that parental support and guidance at home, to help them, practice some of these skills. And so I always want to be able to give parents something. So back years ago, before ESGI, I used ESGI. I was writing it out. Can you imagine? 1 year in half day kindergarten, I had 25 kids. Now, some of you I know have 30, and I can't even imagine. I have 20 this year. So, but I was writing cards for 25 kids years ago. So it does really save over 400 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've loved having you. Now, where else can people find you? I know that you've been at iTeach conference, the national conference in Vegas. And where else do you go and present?
I present here for the state of Nevada for RPDP. So I teach the literacy stations class here in Las Vegas for Clark County School District. And I also will be presenting to the Pennsylvania Teachers Conference in February. I believe that's February 5th. And that's part of SDE as well. And I don't know, you might see me around. Follow me on at kindergarten_chaos on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, which is Lovin' Our Chaos, and or follow my blog.
Fabulous. Well, you do have so many great ideas. We just love that you've told us so much about how to interact with parents at parent conference time to make it stress-free this year. So thank you for joining us, Abigail.
Yes, thank you for having me. And I just want to end by saying that parent-teacher conferences does not have to be a time of dread for you. It should be a time of, showing parents, using those graphs and showing the growth that has been made since the beginning of school. And that's one of also my favorite things about teaching kindergarten, is that they grow so much. And I just love that. So yes, definitely go and get your trial and then download your learning toolbox.
That is great advice. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to tune in next week for more what are we? Hat Chat. Thursdays are Hat Chat. Join us for Hat Chat next week. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.